I'm Catherine Olson. We are at SIFAT. The first night we were here, we cooked our own meal in the global village. We all had different places that we stayed that represented different countries, and we slept in there, which was quite an experience for me.
My name is Becca Babb, and we're here at SIFAT in Alabama, and we've just had an incredible experience to see what foreign countries are like, which for me was kind of weird because I am actually a missionary kid and I have been for 15 years, so pretty much my whole life. So initially I was actually pretty angry coming into this because I thought that a simulated foreign experience would not actually give us any sense of what it was really like, and I thought that you couldn't really see what it's like until you go there. So it made me angry that people would try and pretend to make a place like this.
We are at a SIFAT global training in Alabama. We've been doing some stuff, learning how other people live in other parts of the world. We did a global village experience last night where we stayed in huts, mud huts, bamboo huts, whatever. We each had a different country.
We stayed in Uganda, and that was a good place to stay. It wasn't really that hard.
We stayed in a hut in Liberia, and it was made out of sticks and bamboo, and it was in a circle, and there was a fire in the middle. There was also a fire outside, so we got to cook our food over the fire outside. I cut up plates out of banana leaves, and we cooked chicken and rice and beans over the open fire and mixed them all together and put them on the banana leaves, and we actually got rosemary too and put it in with the food and kind of as a spice.
I don't know, it had like a dirt floor and there were some straw beds. I didn't sleep in the straw because some of us were kind of scared of what was in the straw.
We stayed in the Philippines, so we had to gather wood, build our own fire, and then once we had it built, we had to boil our own water out of the creek. We couldn't use, just regular water out of the cooler.
We didn't use the water from the creek. We just used the water they brought us.
So that was kind of different, kind of worried, like, am I going to get sick? What's going to happen with this?
Honestly, when they were giving us our portions, I didn't think it was going to be enough because they gave us really small portions of food. But once we cooked it, we had more than enough. I was really full at the end, and I think I ate more than any of the rest of our group, but we were all very satisfied.
Even like within our experience, it was still kind of controlled, and it was easy. Like, we had a lighter to use, so we could just light the straw or whatever and then blow on it and get the fire going, and we had the rice was given to us and the food was given to us. But if you have to go out and find your own food and your own resources, it's definitely going to be a lot different.
People were kind of paranoid about our chicken, and I was too, but making sure it was cooked right and that it was going to be safe to eat.
And if you don't know that you have to boil creek water to get toxins out of it or whatever, it's going to be a totally different experience.
It took a while, but I think we did it pretty quickly considering what we did.
My name is Josh Whitson. We're here at SIFAT in Alabama. Last night we got to be part of a slums experience where we got to actually experience just life in total depravity and just in poverty, and we got to see and we got to feel and we got to experience what people actually feel in these type of situations, the desperation. And
oh, we have a drugstore!
Josh, where are you going?
I don't have anything, man!
Where are you going, Josh?
Check me! I don't have anything! I don't have anything! Check me! I don't have anything! Leave that man alone!
There's got to be desperation, just to experience the fear and the panic and of not knowing where you're going to sleep and not knowing how you're going to get water and not knowing how you're going to support your family or feed them or even give them a place to sleep. It's completely insane, and you don't realize that until you're actually in that situation.
We were given roles as family members, and I was given the role of a mother, and I had 3 children and my sister with me, and we just had to go through the slums and pretend like that was our life for 2 hours, and it's actually kind of terrifying. And actually it was really emotional because as a mother, I just remember thinking that a couple times when my son came running up to me, he was just like gripping my arms and his head was on my shoulder, and I felt like it was real, and I felt like as a mother I would have been brokenhearted if that had happened.
The rules were basically that there are no rules. You used whatever means that you could to obtain the things you needed. And that was really rough. I mean, with people cheating and lying and stealing and ripping you off and not keeping promises, it was just really hard to get along, to make progress and to get the stuff you needed, because nobody played by the rules.
Josh tried to sell me drugs.
When you think of people like this, people that steal and people that cheat and lie, you think, why would they ever do that? How could they do that? What kind of motives could they have? But actually experience them. You get to feel that this is the only way. If you don't steal, you're not going to eat. If you don't lie, you're not going to have money. And that completely redefined my perspective of why people act the way they do, and that we really need to get to know these people before we go making pre-assumptions about them. I was actually in jail. There was a transition that was supposed to be made between Amanda and Alex that actually took advantage of and cheated and lied and stole in an effort to feed my family. So that was kind of funny. They got pretty upset about that.
I thought some about how when I think about going to other countries, too often I think that I'm the one impressing them. But really, we should be impressed by the way they live, because they have it so hard, and we have everything that we need. And so I don't know why anyone would be like impressed by anything we have.
To get to experience what most people deal with on a daily basis, finding your own food, cooking your own food, being responsible for your family as a 17-year-old kid in a village, it's really eye-opening, and it really gives you a different perspective.
I think the biggest thing was every time they talked to us, whether we're in the slums or the global villages, they would always use the term two-thirds world. And usually we say like a third world country, but two-thirds world, most of the world's population lives in, not necessarily poverty, but not in a modern America. The 1/3 of the world probably has most of the wealth. And that was just kind of, it's something that you know, but you don't realize until you hear it over and over, that we're the minority in the world. The way that we live comfortably is not the way that most people live.
I actually got to meet a Ukrainian couple that was here, and my parents are missionaries in Ukraine now, so I was able to talk to them and be blessed by them, which I wasn't expecting at all, and be able to bless them in return, just being able to talk to them in Russian, which they haven't been able to do for a while. I think my greatest takeaway was how God really changed my attitude about it through the Ukrainian people that were here, and through kind of being humbled. I think it was very prideful for me to come into it thinking that I knew better just because I had been overseas.
When I got to Impact, I was really afraid of a lot of things, especially spiders. I'm really scared of spiders. And since I've been here, I've been in a lot of experiences where I've been really, really, really close to spiders. And I think God's been working on me and teaching me that I fear the things in the world, like spiders and things like that, more than I fear Him.
Just to get to experience the way people live. The majority of the world lives like this, and we don't understand that as Americans. We see our world as the only world,